closely.
I didn't know they were haters.
It doesn't matter. You know that Louis and Margie and Sexuals are all freaking haters.
I know. I know Zexio and Louis are haters. I didn't know Murky was on here too.
Teenage YouTube is a hater. All those people that were commenting.
Galactic Pops, Gamer Nation, United Network, WeCollect. Do any of those names sound familiar to you? If so, then you know who GP is, and you probably have known some of the stuff he has done. If you don't know who he is, then just sit back and enjoy this video explaining everything, or well, most of what Galactic Pops has done. Back in November 2020, I was streaming some Minecraft on YouTube when someone joined the stream. That person was the king of game. What happened next was GP's recruitment process. This is where he has the recruiter go into people or like random Minecraft YouTuber streams and has his recruiters ask them questions. Well, GP has specifically asked for anyone who is being recruited to be a minor or under 20. Well, I was very skeptical at first as I believed it to be a MCN or multi-channel network, which looking back at it, it definitely is and was an MCN. But I was pretty easily convinced back then that it wasn't. I then went on to join the community. During my time in Gamer Nation, I met some pretty decent people, but I also met a lot of really bad people. One of the worst was definitely GP himself, as GP would manipulate people into thinking that their friends were bad people because they left the server, and he would bully them into agreeing with him. He would also make very creepy remarks towards any women in his community, and he would also make racist remarks to people of Middle Eastern or Indian descent. GP is also an alleged pedophile, which Zexio has videos explaining these allegations better, which I'm putting the links for them in the description. Completely forgot if you said if you wanted to introduce yourself.
I can introduce myself, yeah.
Alright.
So I go by Synth Online, and I mostly just stream Minecraft. We're the ID streamer, so we focus a lot on mental health as well as gaming. It's not my main thing. I mainly do art. When I really early started Twitch last year is when I got in contact with everyone at GPN's thing.
Oh yeah, I should probably start it by saying that. Hello, this is an interview, all right. So
yeah.
this is Synth, as they have said. Synth is you already introduced yourself. Well, anyways, when did you join United Network exactly?
I think I joined right around Thanksgiving, so November 2021. I think that's around the time I ended up joining.
GP really likes picking people up in November.
Does he?
Yeah, that's when I joined. Well, not in 2020, of course.
Yeah.
Well, so your experience there. What was it like when you first joined?
When I first joined, ironically, if I remember right, there was already someone causing troubles, quote unquote, in the general chat. And so I was just kind of awkwardly watching going, have I made the right decision? But I decided to stick it out and be like, okay, maybe it's just odd vibes, awkwardness, being in a big Discord server with a lot of people. No, the red flags started immediately, and I should have really listened to that. He claimed he banned me because I threatened his mother and would rather stick up for my quote-unquote girlfriend, who, first of all, isn't even a girl, and not even my girlfriend, not even my partner,
Yeah.
And said that he banned me, and then proceeded to ban everyone in my faction.
Yeah, he really tends to be sensitive about things, and he doesn't care what happens because he has no sense of consequence.
No.
I can show your. Well, I'm gonna show your screenshot on the screen, obviously, but it's just what he said about you and your friend. It just. I really want to say I'm surprised, but that's just
He straight up threatened me. He straight up said after I'd left, when he claimed to have banned me, I have a screenshot from my friend of this. He threatened me saying that you should be lucky that I don't know where you live or else I would smash your head in or something like that. And I was just like, Jesus Christ!
That's just horrible.
Like, I'm not a minor, but all I could think of is what someone's reaction if I was still a kid, right?
Yeah.
If I was still like 17 when I started getting into like the internet as a content creator, I would not have survived that, I don't think.
It takes.
And I've gotten death threats before, over really small petty things, but it was never from that point where it was a hate crime.
Yeah. Usually when people go... Normally, if like on Twitter or something someone says that, no one's gonna take them seriously because it's Twitter. No. Twitter's a cesspool.
Twitter is just horrible.
But when it's someone on a Discord server who has influence over people, it's appalling.
Especially when it's a direct message.
Yeah.
I couldn't even respond to him. He immediately blocked me after saying it, and I tried.
Yeah, it's.
What are you talking about? What's going on? But I couldn't. I was talking with my mother about it afterwards because she'd been telling me since I joined and started talking about all the stuff that he was saying to other people. She was like, "You need to get out of there." I was telling her about it, and I was like, "Yeah, he sent me this message. I have no idea what it was. He called me a mangina." And I was like, what the fuck is that? Apparently it's some derogatory word for, if I remember right, either a gay person or a trans person. I was like, okay, cool. I got hate crime done. Great.
I've never heard that term.
I hadn't either. That's why I was like, what kind of insult is that? Yeah.
But haven't told you this from our conversation from yesterday, but what GP does to Ligon, it's grooming behavior.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things is that whenever Ligon is available, he forces Ligon to sit in a call with him for hours on end. And sometimes, even if Ligon has to go, he forces Ligon to stay longer than he has to, and he just is just really weird behavior.
It's manipulative. It's abusive. I had my own situation when I was 17 where I got groomed, and it was a lot like that. I constantly would have to be on a phone call with them or talk to them or tell them things, and it just at a point got too much.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
It's alright.
First joined, he lied to me and said he was 20.
Really?
Yeah. I was in a VC,
Wow.
I was talking to King, and me and King are talking because he's the one who recruited me, so I'm going to trust him. GP joins the call, and GP sounds about his age. And I asked GP, hey, how old are you? He's like, oh, everyone in this community is 20 or younger. So I'm given
I was told the same thing.
Yeah. So I'm given the influence this dude is 20. He was not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. It's extremely creepy how he approaches everything. It set just all of my wires on edge. My partner system, my QPP, was like, was messaging in general talking about, hey, how come we can't talk to other, like, factions in VC? And they're like, that's just the way it is.
Oh, how are you supposed to argue with such an unbreakable argument? Who
Yeah.
cares about facts, logic? Who cares about if, this is how a faction server should be? No one cares. It's all about, that's just how the way it is.
Yeah, like, it was kind of just appalling.
Yeah, it's...
And, they were like, well, won't lore get stale, or don't you want us to be able to make friends and stuff?
Okay.
And they ended up banning them for it, or muting them or something. And that's when I was like, okay, no.
Yeah, that's not cool. In the Gamer Nation community, there were 2 SMPs which GP held over the heads of his staff and community members. If you look back in my videos, you can find a playlist on the Gamer Nation SMP. He used the SMPs to force the staff to recruit people into his community. He would constantly bully and harass people who would disagree with him, and he would constantly target me and some other staff members who were, well, just friends. But as a member of his staff, if I said anything against him or if I would tell him off for doing something wrong, he would threaten a ban from the community and get Lygon to chew me out. Speaking of Lygon, GP would treat Lygon horrendously, but he would always claim that he is his best friend, and the so-called friendship between the two is extremely weird and concerning, especially for the fact that Lygon is 13, and he met GP when he was 12. And to put in perspective, GP is 48 and was 47 when he met Lygon. But GP constantly acts like he's being neglected by Lygon if Lygon doesn't talk to him for hours on end. One of the things that's really caught my attention with the whole situation is that Lygon did not have Discord on his phone for the longest time because he did not want his family knowing about the community or GP. Now, this really did concern me, and I am actually very worried for Lygon, and I hope he's okay. One of the things that GP was most known for within his own community was for being a bully and harasser. The only reason he ever grew his community was due to his staff recruiting people for the server, and a decent amount of newcomers would actually leave because of the things GP would say to them. For example, this one user asked if she could do some writing for the website and GP got offended and cussed them out. This user simply just wanted to help improve the community and got bullied and cussed out for it. And GP couldn't take the slightest bit of criticism. If you ever even gave constructive or friendly criticism, he would mute or ban you from his community. He acted like a huge crybaby and still does. When you call him out, he runs and hides, and by this I mean he deletes his channel and changes his Discord and or YouTube name, and restarts his community. Another thing GP repeatedly would do would be to re-upload my videos. Like, he would take a video I made on his SMP, doesn't matter if I had like a text in it saying my name, he would take it and re-upload it, but he would never give me credit. And his excuse was, you are a manager, so you should contribute to the channel with your videos. But he wouldn't ever re-upload any of the other staff members' videos. He only ever would steal my content. And anytime I tried to talk to him about it, he would bring up excuses. It was just ridiculous.
Hello, I am Fox or Ghostly. I was a former manager and co-owner of GPN, and I was asked to say some stuff about my experience, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I just want to start off by saying experience was horrible. In the time, I didn't think it was horrible because we were led on to believe that everything around us is against us, which sounds very out of the blue and just crazy, but I really believed it. When I was in there for about a year, and it was really hard to basically just go by your day normally. If you did not answer a DM from the owner, you would get in trouble. If you went invisible on Discord, you would get in trouble. Sometimes if you went invisible, you'd even get banned. Basically anything the owner didn't like, you weren't allowed to do, no matter what. You weren't allowed to put certain things as your status. You weren't allowed to go invisible. Didn't matter what any other servers you were in. If you were in that server, those were the rules. Wolf will probably show the rules somewhere. But the rules are just so extreme and so pointless. It's just ridiculous. No dream stands were allowed. You're not allowed to talk in private channels outside of the server. You're not allowed to play Hypixel with other people in the server. It was ridiculous. You're basically not allowed to collaborate with anyone else unless the owner knew and approved it. And it was basically just like a cult. If the owner did not want something to happen, it was not going to happen, or else you were just launched into oblivion. You were just gone. And the owner was not very kind whatsoever. He would do death threats. He would yell at you for no reason. There's actually a clip on one of my live streams of him yelling at me. And a bunch of other stuff. Even messaging his admin suicide notes. Basically saying, like, I'm gonna kill myself this way. I already have it set up or whatever. And it would terrify us. It would terrify us. But I don't know how much longer I have to talk. But that's basically the general overview. Never join his server. Don't even talk to him. It's horrible. It's probably the worst experience I've ever had so far, and it is one of the main reasons why I've had so much mental trauma basically happening recently. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for now. I'll see.
Hey, it's Phoenix. Some new me as Crimson. Let's start from the top. One day around December, I did a YouTube stream on Minecraft, and a guy named the King of Games had joined my chat asking if I wanted to join their community on Discord. Then it began. I thought it was a good place, until I had seen firsthand how the members were treated, yet I stayed there. I eventually became a staff member, and a bit later, and I instantly saw how stressful it was. I had to recruit people every day, with school and people that I talk to IRL right there to deal with. Makes sense. Yeah, sure. Discord is priority over real life, I guess. And a bit later, after that, I had told GP that I needed a break. He kicked me off the staff team and the SMP that they had permanently. Unless, of course, I recruited 10 people, even though getting just one was a challenge. I was let back on the SMP later on, even though I didn't complete the 10 recruits, but sure, whatever. Back then, I thought GP was a decent, good person. Really? All I see now is a coward hiding behind the computer.
In the end, the Gamer Nation community was a really just horrible place to be, and GP has little to no idea how to run a community or how to just be a decent human being. And to anyone who's still in this community, you should honestly really consider leaving. And to anyone who has left his community, I'm sorry that you had to suffer by his hand and had to have dealt with him. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Goodbye.
GP, I know you are watching this, and I know you are lying and crying to your staff about this. We cannot wait to read all the lies you are going to have commented on this video. This is Zexio
And Wolf.
signing off.